You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 3rd meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'm Jim Melowitz, President of the Tree Board, and we're going to call the meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board to order. Ms. Henderson, would you do the roll call when you're ready?
Jen Birchfield.
And I haven't heard from her, so I don't know if she's coming or not.
Dennis Britton.
Here?
Dominique Edwards. Betsy L. Cesar. Here. Laura Henderson. I'm here, more or less. Jim Melowitz.
I'm here.
Mary Nell Murphy. Here. And Lydia Corbett.
We have quorum. Great.
Hey, can I just ask a question? So there are 8 members on the tree board, so 5 is a quorum, is that right?
Does that include 8 if you include
Seven.
the council
Okay, so
liaison?
4 is a quorum.
I don't think he has a vote.
Okay,
So 4 is a quorum.
Good, I just want to make sure. So we all know
That's what I
that
thought.
now, okay.
Has everybody seen the minutes from the March 6th meeting?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't think I should vote, but you have enough people to vote.
That's right, yeah.
I wasn't.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Dennis? All in favor of approving the minutes for the March 6th, 2024 meeting?
Aye.
Very good. Pass. All opposed? Passes. Very good. We have a secretary treasurer's report then?
I did not receive it, and I actually, does Carrie send that to you? Or
She's actually on vacation,
oh, okay.
so
Okay.
I haven't seen Carrie.
We can table that till the next
I
meeting
guess
then.
so.
I move that we table our review of the missing report until the next meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay, all opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we'll look at that next meeting. Communications. Ms. Anderson?
I don't have any.
Any communications from Italy? No?
Well, I sent you something to add under, I don't know if you were gonna add it under communications or
I
not.
thought it,
But I think it was on, Mike, I had sent it just to you, I think just to you, Laura, to add it to the agenda, maybe you as well. Okay, and then you sent it to the board, so I think, you know, and I think what that training was for is more for tree board members. It wasn't something we would need to, put out to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right, I saw that, yes.
oh, good.
That would be very useful if anyone can do it. Any other communications? Mr. Forrester, do we have any communications?
Actually, I had kind of thrown it under new business, but that would count as a communication. We had a request from the Sustainability Commission that we partner with them. If nothing more than a lot of it is in name, they want to put on their paperwork and their banners and stuff that their work is approved by the tree board. We're aware that, their tree sustainability stuff, and they also asked about, they wanted to put our logo on their information as a partner. And that's not for the tree board. This one is Sustainability Commission. They have a thing coming up April 15th called Trading Days, and they were just curious if we would be able to supply them with some trees for their trading so that they could put it on their trade table.
Trading, what, is that a sale or is it a?
It's literally what it is.
It's
A trading day is, it's a
Show and tell.
it's seeds, vegetables, plants,
Yeah.
and you can come get a free plant, or if you want, you can drop off a plant and trade one in.
We are not gonna have our trees until May though, right?
Well,
I hope
yeah,
not.
this is April 15th, I didn't know,
I don't,
I told them I would bring the information forward.
Thank you.
I don't think we can do it. I don't see
Yeah.
how we can do
No.
it.
Right.
We won't have our
Especially
trees.
at this late notice.
I mean, I think it's a great idea to work with them and to assist. It's a good board. Is Nancy still in the president of the board?
She's, no,
she's
she's
on
the
the same-
liaison. She's the council liaison.
Right.
But I think, this would have been perfect for what Dahlia was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And with some lead time, maybe we could have done
Right.
it.
Do
I
you,
guess
go ahead.
my only concern would be, I wanna find out a little bit more about what that means. I mean, if, do we need to review something, like if it's tree board approved, what do we need to approve?
We're not necessarily approved, we're
Okay.
just partnering with the
Okay.
sustainability.
I think we need to know more what we're partnering with regards to. I mean, maybe it would be useful to have somebody from that board talk to us.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
The way it was explained to me is, it just basically means that our logo goes on what they do. So that it just shows that we're in cooperation with them.
Okay.
Solidarity.
Yeah, solidarity, that's.
I'd like to make a couple of comments. I think it's an excellent idea, and I've been wondering about this ever since I knew we had a sustainability commission. In many small towns and municipalities, there's no separate tree board and sustainability. They're just one thing.
Right.
And so we have a lot of interest in common. I think one thing we can offer on April 15th, if we have some flyers for that May 4th event, I think we should load them up with some of those flyers. Are flyers available yet? No?
I don't know.
Don't know. So the other thing I would like to see from the Sustainability Commission, if they want to partner with us, I'd like to see them come up with a couple, 3 volunteers for our fall tree planting, because that's a big push for us in the fall, and it's much more difficult than handing out seedlings, little sticks. I watched one of their meetings, and they had some high school students or college students who were, I don't know if they were serving like an intern or a special status of some sort, and I thought, I would love to have some young people helping us at the tree board with all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. I think
But to begin with, the publicity.
that's a great idea. How do we deal with this? I mean, Laura? I don't.
Well,
I don't feel comfortable lending the tree board's name to and I'm sensing Mary is concerned about this as well, without really knowing what we're
Yeah.
lending it to.
Right,
You know?
I think it would be fine if every meeting, like we got a list of them saying next month, here are the things we wanna add your name to, just so we can see it beforehand. I can't imagine that we wouldn't agree with it, but I'm not comfortable with just giving a blanket, yes, whenever you have your logo out, put ours out,
well, that kind of makes sense.
okay.
Right. And I don't think, Mary, and I don't mean to be territorial about this at all. I think we could certainly support probably everything that they
I
do,
think
but we
so,
need to
too.
know what it is
Right, yeah.
before
Yeah.
we do that.
Well, one year they had an electric car show, and that doesn't have anything to do with us, but it's a great
Well,
idea for a sustainability
Yeah,
commission.
helps the trees. But I think, yeah, because then people could say oh, I see the tree board's involved with that electric car thing. And we're like, I don't know anything about it. Well, you're on the board and your logo's on there.
Right.
So I think it'd be nice if we just got
Sure.
a,
Sure.
each month just kind of, here's the things coming up.
Yeah, if there are specific projects that they want us to support them on, or specific whatevers, or issues, if they're taking an issue to the city council and they want our up or down, how we feel about it, I think we're more than happy to consider that.
Yeah.
And most likely support whatever they're doing,
Right.
but
And especially right here at the beginning where there's a new relationship, the more communication, the better.
But I think this is a great idea to coordinate with them. It absolutely
Agreed.
is a great idea.
Jim, what might be useful is that if we got a monthly copy of the minutes from their meetings so that we can peruse what they've done, what we, what we do connect with,
Mhm.
and what they're engaged in. So if there's a electric car thing, yes, well, we heard about that and we're not directly involved.
So how can we get this information? What is the best way to do this? Through Laura, through Michael?
She's on the committee. I'm actually on neither committee. So,
Okay.
How about if we just start with getting their minutes every,
Right.
their
in the minutes, we can
and they're
download.
also on YouTube.
Those can be downloaded
Right.
anytime. so.
Right.
Sure.
If I can
When are
get
those
an email with their minutes.
They're on the second Thursday.
Okay, so and then how soon would the minutes be available online that we could see them? Because then that's something we could, right before this meeting, we
Yeah.
could send out to everyone.
Let me say a week after.
Okay, well, let's just take baby steps as we approach this, but I think everyone seems kind of generally on board, but I don't think we need a motion or anything at this point.
No, I don't think so.
What about for the Earth Day extravaganza?
What about it?
What about,
Can we agree to our logo being on that publicity?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's on, sure, I think it's on,
Since we're
with the,
doing-
whatever the governing, whoever's doing the whole thing, I think tree board and sustainability are gonna be there. But yeah, that would seem fine to me that we,
I'm fine with that. Do we need like a formal vote, or I don't think so, do we?
No, I
assume you
mean,
guys
seems like an
agree with that.
We're gonna be there.
Back to the committee.
It's their event, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, is that when we're gonna be giving out trees?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
May 4th, May the 4th be with you.
And, yeah, I'd like to see that flyer as soon as we get it so I can spread it around.
Yeah, that goes back to, I think there was a, big stack of literature and flyers and stuff that, got musical chairs played with, before you came in. I don't know if you've come across anything like that. I also meant, there's a photo from last year's Earth Day event where there was a nice, at least 2 posters that were like on hard, firm poster board, that related to trees and so on.
I have, in the corner of my space, I have one of those. I believe what you're talking about.
Okay.
Basically, it's 2 foot by 3 foot with an A-frame
Yes,
and tree, and then benefits of the tree.
great.
I
Yeah,
have-
perfect.
So that would be, we would like to have those at the Earth Day extravaganza.
Yeah.
Were there any flyers with those? Take a look and see, yeah.
I was looking at
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
I remember last year they sent a flyer, or maybe you sent a flyer through email, and we were able to just make a copy or 2 if we wanted.
Or maybe Nicole.
I remember well, maybe she did.
Yeah.
I remember downloading the image, and I sent that on to one of the few social media groups I'm on.
Okay, I'll take a look for that.
okay, returning to communication.
Yes.
Oh, I have another communication.
Meanwhile,
I have two communications.
Okay.
So Nancy Moldenauer sent me a text, and it goes, question from my constituent. Are you aware of any funds or programs to remove old, unsafe trees on personal property, besides waiting for them to fall dead? They have limited financial resources. My first thought was, no, we don't have anything for that. But, I don't know, I thought it.
Mike, do you know of any?
This is
There
a
are none.
citizen?
Specifically for
On private
that.
property.
However, if, and I'm gonna put NIPSCO on the spot, depending on where the tree is located on their property in conjunction to a power line, NIPSCO would be, who could come at least take this tree down all the way
Right,
without charge to the homeowner.
right.
I told her that, so.
Yeah.
That would be the first place to try, certainly make a case that
Yeah.
way.
Do we know how big the tree is?
No. We don't even know how they decided it was unsafe. I don't know.
Right, a lot of people get ideas when they watch TV.
Well, is that something that people call you about and say, I have an unsafe tree, but it's on my own property, and,
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, I get a lot of those calls,
okay,
but they tell me they believe it's a city tree, and they want me to, come out and check it.
In the middle of
take
their
it down.
backyard, yeah.
And I just walk out and confirm, no, that tree 40 feet into your yard is definitely your tree, not a city tree. And, I can't make your neighbor take it down, much like this issue.
okay.
Yeah, it's a civil
So if
issue.
the tree's in the right of way, then it could be a city issue. But if it's in the
Could
middle
be.
of private property, it's not,
Well,
unless it's threatening a power line, so.
if somebody just has a question and it's on private property, I do those kinds of visits all the time, but it's just my opinion that I'm offering. My motto is, my opinion is always free. But I don't do tree removals myself.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are wondering, well, should I call the tree service, should I have it pruned, or should I have it removed? And I can give people guidance along those lines.
Okay.
Good question, though.
So are you okay if Laura passes your name
Yes,
on to the constituent?
Is this in Michigan City?
I assume so. I think
yeah,
it's
it's
one
okay.
of Nancy's constituents.
Nancy Moldenhauer.
Right, well, she's my
Oh, okay, okay.
person,
This
so
would be her name.
that would be not far from me. Yeah, you can pass on my email.
So who is the president of the Sustainability Board now?
Andy John Davis.
I don't know. Okay, I have two communications from via Mike from the mayor's office. One announcing that Mayor Angie will host the first State of the City address on April 10th at Holdcraft Performing Arts Center at 10 a.m. Doors open at 9:30, and you can hear her give her first State of the State address. That should be very interesting. And then also from the mayor's office, announcing the mayor's charitable gala titled Connecting Youth to Opportunities, which is the theme this year for her inaugural charitable gala, which is set for April 19th at the Stardust Event Center at Blue Chip Casino. Open to the public, black tie optional. Seeks to provide attendees with a night to remember while raising funds for various youth-serving organizations in Michigan City. And the goal is $100,000. And Horizon Bank is the primary sponsor, I believe. They're hoping for a sellout crowd. And
Is there a ticket price?
I do not know. No, this does not say how much the tickets are.
It's $100.
$100.
100 per ticket.
Okay. And so if you wish to purchase tickets, you should contact the controller's office, or you can call the controller's office at 219-873-1400, and they will sell you a ticket for
I'm
this.
gonna try to attend that.
Yeah.
I'll wear my pin.
I can't attend, but I will buy a ticket.
Very nice.
It sounds like a very worthy event.
And they have a program, if you can buy a ticket for like one of the city employees
Oh, okay.
who couldn't.
Oh.
As I recall, I opted to just go buy a ticket. But I remember there was like four options of different ways of
Okay.
for tickets.
Is that online anywhere, or is it just, I read the same thing as Mike sent that around.
Yes, at Mayor's Gala, Mayor's with an S, Gala at emichigancity.com. Well, that's for sponsorships, but I imagine you could also call there.
There'd be info there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you go into that site.
Just call the controller's office.
call the controller's office.
She gets that.
Sounds like a great event. Okay, that's it for the communications from me. Anybody else got communications?
Yes. From the Indiana DNR, on June 4th or July 23rd. June 4th is in Martinsville, Indiana, July 23rd in Elkhart, which is closer. DNR Community and Urban Forestry will host a forum of recipients of the Arbor Day Foundation's Tree City family. So I will send this around if anyone is able to attend. I want to make sure I send that around. I may have, but I'll send it again.
You said June 30th?
No, June 4th, that's the one that's in Martinsville,
Oh,
which is Morgan and Monroe State Forest Training Center. But July 23rd is the one that's at Elkhart, which is just about an hour away. There's one open slot, I think, per Arbor Day,
40 minutes.
for us as a, Michigan City. So if you, whoever would like to go, Betsy, sounds like you're a possibility. I'll send this around.
maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Very good. All right, moving on to committee reports, education and outreach. Is there anything new in that sphere? No?
Well, the first farmer's market is May the 4th. We're still planning to be there and give away some tree seedlings, saplings, whatever they are.
I plan to be there.
I will be making flyers like I did last time with instructions on one side and brief description of the tree ward on the other side.
Are those the flyers that we would want to give out that we would want to give to the April 15th event?
April 15th, what we want to do is, no, not the same ones. The flyers that I'm going to make are the ones I made last time, which we give simultaneously when people are picking up their trees.
Yes.
So the ones at April 15th, we probably want to give the flyer for the May 4th event.
Advertising, please come to this Earth Day extravaganza.
Right, and I can, as soon as I receive that electronically, I can make up a few.
It was a couple of weeks ago, but I was poking around looking for something, online about that. So, because I wanted to have that as well, and I didn't see anything. Maybe it was too early, but,
Did you look on the sustainability Facebook page?
I will look there. I mean, I did a few creative searches, and I didn't come up with anything, but I will check again.
So the farmer's market is the start of that day, but then later on that same day is the Earth Day extravaganza.
Yes.
So we will be giving out our trees at both of those events?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so-
Right.
And we are going to have 700 seedlings, is that right? And
I think so.
I think that was the number.
I think,
Okay.
We
Last year was
settled on.
1,000.
yes,
Yep.
we're going to do something a little more reasonable this year. But, and a variety of species. So members of the
Dennis
public.
is trying to interrupt you here.
Well, I'm sorry.
Finish what you have to say, because I had a follow-up. I'm on the botanical committee at the,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and you were going
and
to.
we had a meeting today, and I got the okay to have, the Earth Day, Arbor Day event on the 21st of April. The question is it totally out of any possibility of our having any saplings?
Mike, when were you planning on getting the seedlings?
I had called down to see availability, and at that point, we should be able to just call down, say we're ready to pick up our trees.
But the problem is,
do
we get
want,
700, we have to care for 2 weeks.
do we want to? Because they keep them in coolers. If we get them and we have them sitting around for 2 weeks, they're gonna dry out.
Yeah.
Well, seedlings need to go from pickup, distribution, in the ground,
It's-
24 hours. is what-
As quickly as possible.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not sure
yeah, I
this
don't
is gonna
think
be
it's
possible,
not gonna-
Dennis.
Okay, in that case, because the plan was, to have some other environmental groups there, for us to be there, to have seedlings, to have information, and I had talked to Laura about doing a winter tree identification walk, and Jen said she had some pictures that they could post to help people identify trees when they're not in bloom, and so that would be sort of the really attracting thing, and if we're not gonna have any saplings,
Yeah, it would be
Now,
great
your
if
group may want next year to order your own, and so you can pick them up as soon
well,
as you
part
want.
of it was to promote us, to us
Yeah.
sort of being.
And we can have
there.
flyers, but,
Yeah.
you can see that logistics are not gonna
Yeah,
work.
no, I understand that. However, it hardly ever happens that those saplings get in within 24 hours. So we need to be aware of that.
But
When,
2 weeks is,
2
Right,
weeks.
but last year, there were, a significant number of dead ones because.
We need
Tim
to
just couldn't-
strive for getting them in as quickly as possible.
Right, right.
And perhaps next year, if you plan your event the day before the Earth Day thing, or do it
well,
differently.
the point was Earth Day is on the 22nd. And because things got screwed up with Earth Day for us from last year to this year, I thought, well, maybe this would be good, a good event to pull things together and us to be out front with
Sure.
that. But it sounds like I'll get back to him and say, forget it.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if I think I might have mentioned this, if you wanted to have like one tree in a pot and take, people could leave their name or like a raffle and, or a door prize. If you're interested in that, I could provide one tree in a pot for you.
I don't think that's gonna attract people out to the, it's not,
No, but there's other things there.
But
well, we would really be the main attraction, because the other stuff would be, I'd be getting information to pass out from Save the Dunes and Shirley Hines and some of the other things to sort of promote Earth Day, which is the following day, and then Arbor Day is the following Friday, and nothing's really happening, so I thought, well, this would be a great opportunity to pull it all together, but it doesn't sound like it's gonna be, I'm gonna get this off the ground.
unfortunately, I don't think so. But this segues nicely into your report on what's going on in public relations and attempting to work out something with the Beecher as well as the radio station.
Right.
Hopefully something's going to happen in those areas before May 4th,
Well, that'll be my focus now.
because it'd be great if we could get some publicity.
Yeah, that I can do. I can get announcements put in the Beecher for the May 4th event and what that will entail. And also, general information about our monthly presence at the farmer's market.
Right, and that would be, to get that in the Beecher, particularly on a regular basis, would
Yeah,
be
that's
extremely
my
helpful.
plan.
In the past, they have not been particularly helpful to us in that.
Well, I'm working with them on doing an article on us as well. But part of the article was dependent on what events we were actually gonna have, and I was really hoping this Earth Day, Arbor Day event would come together, because we'd sort of like be out in front
Sure.
before the other groups, but, so that whole thing is gonna shift and change.
And just to clarify for the public, on May 4th, we will be giving out 700 trees.
For free.
For free. Come and get them, plant them, and watch them grow. We will be giving them out at the farmer's market in the morning,
That's right.
and then later on at the Earth Day extravaganza, which is being held
At Krieger Memorial Park,
Krieger Memorial Park. So,
Krieger Memorial Hall.
So
Do we want
from
to-
8 in the morning till noon at the farmer's market.
Right.
To people, we're gonna plant the trees in Michigan City, and we'll agree to take care of them, watering them weekly for 2 years, taking good care of them.
And these are
Yeah.
seedlings, so they're gonna be about this big,
Yeah.
roughly.
But
Of a
like
variety,
pencil width.
variety of species, very easy to plant, and give everybody an excuse to dig out their shovel and dig a hole.
That's right.
Do
And
we
then
want
I'm
to,
just gonna- I was just gonna say
Go
that
ahead.
Kruger Park event starts at 1 o'clock.
1 to 4.
1
All
to
right,
4.
so we
Okay,
get
I'm
a
done.
little break. Do we want to allocate like half and half, or
I
we don't
think
want
that
to
would be a
give,
good idea.
we don't want to give them all out in the morning?
I think half and half is a very good idea.
I sort of disagree. I think that we can talk about this, but I think it's better to, if you have people coming, if you have thousands of people that show up at the farmer's market and they want a tree,
But some of them
you
want
give
10
a tree.
trees.
I know.
If we run out early, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I mean, I
I
do
don't
think we
think we
should,
should give out 20 trees to
No,
a
no,
person.
no, no,
No,
but-
to be very,
everyone gets 1 tree.
Everybody gets one, yeah.
Yeah, at least a couple hundred, but if there's a big run on them to worthy homes,
Because our whole point is to get them in the ground. Whether we give them to somebody at the farmer's market, we give them at the Earth Day thing,
right?
we don't care. As long as it's somebody of good faith who will plant that tree and take care of it.
One quick technical aside, are we gonna get pawpaws this year?
I don't
not
know.
very many.
We don't know what we're going to get
Well,
until.
yeah, I thought they weren't available, and everyone
Right.
wanted them. and they
Not
weren't.
as such,
and the issue
but
with
in those
pawpaws-
packages.
Yeah, the issue with
People-
pawpaws-
Oh, that's right.
Very few.
Yeah, we discussed this, I think, in the last couple of meetings, where we order a packet of 10, and within that packet of 10, there's a pawpaw.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, I mean, the technical aspect of it is if you're getting pawpaws, you need to.
Right,
'Cause they have
So
to-
it's not just one per customer. If you get pawpaws, you get 2.
yeah. I'm not gonna be able to make the second event that starts at 1 o'clock, or maybe I can make it for an hour, but, maybe.
I can be at both events.
Okay,
I'll be at both,
thank you.
but I will be doing a couple of walks
Okay,
at the
that's
second
right.
one.
That's right. Anyone else gonna be?
I will not be here, I will be in London.
Okay.
So you will, the next
Dennis?
meeting will also, you will have to chair.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Will you be at either event?
I will be at half of the morning and 2/3 of the afternoon.
Okay. And Mike, were you planning on coming to the May 4th events? It's a Saturday.
I actually don't know yet.
Okay. All right.
It would be great if you could be there. I think many people would like to meet the city forester.
Well, that reminds me, I've been seeing a lot of coverage locally in the papers about LaPorte getting $1 million from, the same grant that we're getting, and I think we need to get out there too.
Well, that leads me to my next question, Dennis, which is, if you're having this conversation with the Beecher about getting us some press in the Beecher, what about the Michigan City, the LaPorte County News Dispatch? Do you have any contacts there?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Does anybody have any contacts there? No. I have tried in the past
Yeah.
by sending press releases to half a dozen editors over there.
Right.
And gotten nowhere. It's very hard to get anybody on the phone, actually virtually impossible to get anybody on the phone.
Yeah, it's near impossible. Beecher, I'll deal with. The other, no. No, I
Do we,
go through.
do we have a press release written about these events?
They're all changing, so I'm getting some final word now. So with the Beecher, generally you have to put your statement in 2 weeks before you want it to appear
Right.
with them.
But the $1 million grant,
But that was submitted to all of these publications as a
Yeah.
press release.
Now that I already submitted
to,
to the WEFM. So they had that, I sent them your announcement to be put on WEFM.
can you send it to the News Dispatch and, Northwest Indiana?
He already did that. I'm gonna be working with the Beecher on a larger article.
What I'm thinking about is that not the grant, but the May 4th events.
That I will be doing. I will do regular announcements in the Beecher, because I've worked with them before in regard to other events, so.
Well, if you do an announcement for the Beecher, can you just send it as well, email it to the News Dispatch?
I'm not touching them,
You're not touching.
period.
Well, will you
Don't
send,
even, No,
Okay,
I'm not
here, how about this, Dennis? How about you send me a copy of what you're sending to the Beecher,
Perfect.
and then I can forward it on and try to make some contact with the News Dispatch,
Right.
okay?
Tell them you're a lawyer.
Well, that'll scare 'em.
Okay, all right.
How about
If
we do,
anybody has any input in regard to what I can put in that announcement, so I don't leave anything out, please send me an email, I appreciate that.
if you write it up and maybe you just circulate it to everybody on the board, and if anybody has any suggestions, they can just send it
It's
to you.
easier if you just send me a comment.
Well, I
instead
think it
of
was
Writing
based
something
on,
up and passing it around, because I've done that before, and it just falls apart.
I think it's done, because, you did something, and it was based on the grant, the $1 million grant. It was based on, the grant givers saying, reach out and provide some, get some coverage, and they kind of gave a boilerplate, and I think you used that
Yes, I
for
did.
it.
Yes.
So I don't think we need to,
No, I think we're talking about two different things.
Just the
You're,
May
you're talking about the grant, I'm talking about the May 4th
May
event.
4th announcement.
And I just want to try to get as much press on the May 4th event as we
Absolutely.
can, so we get as many people to come out for these things. I assume that the city must be doing, or who's the prime sponsor of the Earth Day thing?
Not the sustainability.
Sustainability, have they done any press on this?
I'm not sure exactly what Andy's done.
Okay,
This is her baby.
because that's kind of a big deal for the city to have that sort of thing.
and it seems to get a big crowd, too.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
huge crowd.
Yeah,
And since they want to be affiliated with us, or us affiliated with them, maybe we can piggyback onto whatever announcements they're making as well.
There you go.
okay, well, if you send me whatever you're doing to the Beecher, though, I will add what I can, or if I have any suggestions, give them to you, and then try to get that to the News Dispatch as soon as possible, too.
Right.
In the meantime, Mary, will you be putting stuff on our Facebook page about all of this?
Yeah, it's already there.
Sorry there,
Yeah.
great. All right. Okay, what about, when are we going to be interviewed, or is somebody going to be interviewed for the radio station?
That's still up in the air, because I've been waiting to see what's happening and what events are going on, so that
April would be a perfect
it would be
month
perfect, but it's too late now.
for them to talk to us.
Yeah, it's too late now to get that in. Hopefully, once we're involved in May, I can get something going, but you never know.
Well, if you could get it on May 3rd, be on the radio station talking about trees, and
It's
we'll all be
always-
happy to show up to help you if
Yeah,
you need it.
it's always better to have it the week before an event than the day before an event, to have on the radio.
Well, at this
so people
point-
are aware.
Any radio station coverage would be marvelous, whether it's the day before or a week before, I don't care, as long as we get there.
Ideally, I'd like to get that in a week before, because that's what we would do with the events at the gardens.
I think what Jim is saying is we're past ideally. We need to get something.
Yeah,
Even if it's not ideal.
How can we make something
Ideally for
happen?
us and dealing with them. It's a toss-up what I
guess,
think is ideal, what Jim wants and what EFM will allow.
well, I guess the question here, Dennis, is how can we make something happen with the radio station before May 4th?
You can't make anything happen. You present it, say this is what.
But, well, I don't mean make in the sense of,
Facilitate.
mandating them. I mean, like, how do we seize the initiative here and pull the strings that we need to make something happen?
What happens is, I have no direct phone contact with them. I send an email to the manager, maybe a day, maybe a two, maybe a week later, I get a response back from him.
Okay.
So there's that aspect, there's no one-on-one.
Okay.
Hi,
Well,
this
what
is
if-
Dennis.
What if you
So I would
approach them
look
and
into
you
that
say,
and see-
this is the ideal month to
Right,
talk
I
to the tree
agree.
board, because we have a whole bunch of stuff happening on May 4th, and the tree planting season
Right.
is beginning, and we're gonna be getting our $1 million, or the start of our $1 million.
Right. No, I agree,
So,
and I will present that to them,
okay,
and then we'll wait to see if and when we get a response from them.
that'd be great. All right, public relations, I think we've handled that.
Yep.
Arbor Day, tree giveaway, I think we've handled that.
I'm sorry, I was gonna, public relations related to Facebook. I wanted to suggest that you know, the Facebook page, I just kind of created, it's not a city Facebook page. It's just one release to the tree board. But I think it'd be best, to avoid any confusion, I'm gonna change the name, if it's all right with everyone, to Friends of Michigan City Tree Board.
Right.
And I think what I would like to do too, and I've seen this on other pages, is, and maybe I'll just do that at first, but something to think about for the next meeting, is if we remove public comment, but we still allow messages, and most people are saying messages anyway, you know, rather than public comments, but if there's no objection, I'm just gonna change it to say Friends of Michigan City Tree Board.
Whatever you think is best.
Okay,
And Mary, what I will do, someone who's an expert on communicating on Facebook is Nancy Moldenauer, and I will connect with her and talk to her about how best do we, interface with people through Facebook.
okay.
And she knows the inside and outside of all of that. I'll get back to you.
Okay, that was all I wanted to say.
Okay, Arbor Day, I think we've covered that. Tree giveaway, we've covered that. Proclamation, do we need anything from the mayor proclamation-wise?
We got it, yeah.
We got it?
Yeah, we got it. And with the Arbor Day, I think this is this year's, or maybe this is last year's, that was last year's, but we got something just like that.
Oh, that looks official.
Yeah, well, that was last year's, but yeah, we got something from the mayor. And then I will take to the streets department the new 24-year Arbor Day stickers, so that we get those up to replace the ones that are currently on the 4 signs by the Bird Town signs. Currently say 23 and they will say 24.
You don't think that's confusing that they're right next to the bird town sign?
I do not.
People might wonder whether we're about trees or birds.
Both.
Of course. Grants.
I want to just run back. Has anybody spoken to Chantel Bagley about us having a table at the farmer's market?
I know last year I contacted her and she said, well, since you're a city department, you don't need to, but
Okay.
you know what, I'll go on and reach out to her as well. Okay.
Make it official.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good idea.
first.
That's a good idea, Laura. Grants, Community Tree doesn't happen for another month or so. Have you heard anything more about Community Tree, Mike?
Nothing, except I did put all of last year's last 2 years, excuse me. I created a database with all the recipients from the last 2 years.
Excellent.
And then, as time approaches, I'm going to be emailing everyone, reminding them of the fact we need to water our trees for
Great.
3 to 5
Excellent.
years.
That's
So
a really good idea.
it's in process, but I haven't had anything new.
One of the things at the farmers markets and the tree giveaway, we do need to be offering like a petition or something to take names of people who are interested in getting a tree, also in helping us plant trees. That would be always a thing that,
Yeah, I think we had some lists like that from last year, and I think garages need to be gone through to see where such
Where they
literature
are,
has rested over the winter.
Well, last year we had a problem because we changed the date rather late in the season of when we were going to plant.
Because of
And I had a-
equipment availability.
Tim gave me a list of phone numbers of all these people, of about 8 or 9 people, and not one of them responded because we changed up the day.
Yeah.
And I think we should try to collect emails,
Yeah.
not phone numbers.
emails would be better because then you can send out one blanket email to everybody.
Right, and a lot of people don't pick up their phone, but if they see,
Right.
they're gonna see an email and
Sure.
they don't have to open it, but they're gonna see
Yeah.
a subject line.
And I think we need to do this, also have an appeal on Facebook for people like this.
Yeah.
Can we do something like that?
We can't. We are a real small audience. I mean, it's not gonna go viral, but, you know, yeah.
I have an idea, there's some new homes not far from my house. And I thought if I had a flyer, do you want a tree? I would just put it on their door. You know, because I think we need to spread the word further than the farmer's market about this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people would like a tree if they knew about the program. But
Right.
they just don't know about the program. So you're right. The more people we can spread that word to, the better. The other.
But we need a hard date for volunteers.
Right, but we don't have that yet, so.
Also, this calls up something eventually I do want to do, is the public library is a real good
Yes.
source. Not only of getting information out, but I still, and I mentioned it before, I'd still like to have a couple hours on a Saturday at the library where we can call people in and talk about who we are, what we're doing, how to take care of your trees, how to access trees, so on and so forth. And I've done that before and it's been very effective. So the public library has a lot of events like that. They're also good at getting information out there, and they have a very, very wide Facebook audience.
Good.
Well, I think next year in March, we should have, and I think they would welcome this, we should have our own little event one evening. And, you know, even if people don't attend that, they'll see it in their literature that that's going on, and can have a little blurb about it, and then a couple of us can show up and say, well, you should really come to the Earth Day extravaganza and the farmers markets.
Yeah. Usually a Saturday afternoon is real good for that, because then people can also bring their kids. I mean, it's usually about an hour and a half.
I used to have a slideshow that I would bring to public places, and
Your vacation photo?
No, I think Mike could
Trees
probably
I have
relate
now.
to this. Back when people used slide shows more often, but I could make it I have PowerPoint shows
PowerPoint.
too. And it basically shows all the good and bad things that can happen to
Excellent.
a tree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Perfect.
I've seen people wrap barbed wire around a tree and
To protect it.
right, and things like that, and or they stick it directly into the concrete with no.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna
if
put a-
there's an interest in that, if we do have something, instead of just
Yeah. I'm gonna
talking.
put a little alert on my calendar for maybe this winter for getting on the library's calendar.
Well,
Yeah.
what I was thinking though, you know, I'm pretty good friends with Don, who's director of the library, and since we're just starting our season, it might be possible to get on board mid-May to do like an hour and a half presentation, and that could be also promoted at the Saturday farmers market, the first Saturday farmers market.
Okay, if I do a show, it's not gonna be more than 30 minutes, because people
I
will,
can't do May, I'm already booked out for May.
yeah, May is not great for me either.
I think the winter
May.
makes sense, yeah, I gotta think this,
May is terribly full.
Yeah.
But even June would be better for me than May.
Well, yeah, as long as we're still relatively active and it's still early enough in the planting season, by July, you know, you don't want to be putting trees in.
Well, no, but if we do this in the summertime,
yeah.
then we could possibly get people interested in one of our fall trees.
Yeah,
We're sort of
Yeah.
recruiting, yeah.
Fall trees.
Okay.
So
But
Dennis, can you
anyway-
talk to this person at the library?
Yeah, I'll see him Friday. I see him every Friday. But, so we want to look maybe mid-June, early June?
Just ask them, how do we get on your schedule?
Right.
What would, you know?
Yeah.
Now, with the library, I have an in, so I don't have to worry. If you have a date that would be preferable, I'll talk to
So if I
about
say,
that
how can
Friday.
you make things happen with the library?
That's because I have an in with the library, so.
Okay. Getting back to grants. The other grants that we have been talking about are the Unity grant, which Betsy is going to pursue in June, I believe,
As soon as they put it on their,
as soon as they put that out
put it
there.
up on their webpage.
Yeah, we're going for some money. And then the NIPSCO grant, I don't know that if we already reported on this, but Mike determined that we don't qualify for the NIPSCO grant because we are not a 501(c), and therefore it's a waste of time to even apply for it. I had applied for it the last couple of years after a conversation with the NIPSCO person in charge of that grant program who said, you should apply for it anyway because you are not-for-profit, obviously, and we will consider you. Well, apparently, the fact that we weren't a 501(c), which they did not impart to me, disqualified us. So that was a waste of time, and thank you for sorting that out. So that brings us, that's the situation on grants. Mike's going to report more on the federal money grant here in a minute. I'm sorry?
Did you want to, I know you had a
And
couple of
some
little
questions.
tweaks that you wanted to bring up. I'm not sure if this is the right time.
I'm
I'm
not
talking
sure.
grants, it might be, but.
It might be, so go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I'm done on
Okay.
grants.
Well, I have some questions about the grant narrative. Maybe it should be old business, but we're almost done. So, let's see. On the first page of the grant narrative, it says, at the end of the 5-year cycle, the city of Michigan City, Indiana will update its municipal tree inventory.
Okay, excuse me, let me just interrupt. You are talking now about the federal grant.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are we not there yet? You want to
Well-
hold off?
We're not really there yet,
Okay.
but, because I think Mike's going to give us an update on where we are with that when we get to the forester's report,
Okay.
which is coming up here in a moment. Okay, otherwise, anything else on grants?
No, just a bunch of questions.
Okay. The annual tree planting, that will be in the fall, and we've discussed that already. Assuming we get some trees from Community. Arborist report. Okay, Mike, what have you been up to?
I have been up to, the first thing is tweaking my Smartsheet database. That's the one that I use to keep track of all the tree work in the city.
Okay, and just to interrupt you for a second, but for people in the audience, we're now hearing from Mike Wolf, our city forester.
So that program is up and running. It's working well. It tracks everything from the minute I get the phone call through billing. So if everything has a code and you color code, I should put, everyth's color coded. So if it's blue, it tells me that I haven't done anything. It's active, but there's to do. Orange is another color for, I can just look at my chart, and all the orange are projects in process. I have a yellow color code, which tells me that these are done. Work's already done, taken care of. There's a purple code. The purple one is for tree violations. If I have a contractor that we've found to be harvesting trees without license, he goes on the list. So we can track whether or not he was fined or what happened at this stage with each of those.
Great.
And it's also a way to review every tree contractor. It's a very in-depth database as far as what you do with it.
Is this a database that you developed or a database that the city already had or that
I
you-
developed it. The city didn't have anything that would work.
Okay,
So it was like, I got to start over and reinvent the wheel.
very good. So it's invented and in place and operational.
Invented and running. And I can't say I invented it, I stole the concept. It's what NIPSCO uses to handle all their service.
Sure.
And I figured if they can do it, I can do it.
Very good.
I started a SOP for forestry.
What is SOP stand?
The standards,
of practice.
yeah, right now, that's it.
Standards of practice?
That is the
Operating procedure.
operational procedure.
Okay.
And because when I came in, we had no standard, we had no operation, and we had no procedure. So I started to write one down so that the next forester coming in would have a to-do list, a manual of what your job is and how to do it.
Can you send me a copy of that or circulate that to the board as well?
Sure.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's in process. I mean, it's like most of the stuff I'm working on, it's a work in process, but I'll send you what I got.
Great.
I sent out the RFQ, the request for,
Proposal.
quote, thank you. The request for quote, that's the Q. To companies to do our tree survey.
When are they due?
They're due at the end of the month.
Okay.
I have talked to 3 of the ones who I'm really interested in to find out some of the issues that are up in the air. If I were to give you the contract and you could start tomorrow, how long is it gonna take you to do our city? And I've had 3 of them be able to tell me how long their time frame.
So how many bids do you expect to get?
I expect to get 5.
Okay.
And
Maybe 5, pardon?
who have you sent it out to?
I don't have the list in front of me, but the list went out to basically every engineering firm or contractor that had supplied us with tree quote requests in the last 10 years.
Let's see, I know we were thinking about Davies,
Davy Tree,
and we were thinking about Phil Graff,
Phil Graff,
and then there's a new place called Merit STEM.
yes. All 3.
Okay.
In fact, Davy Tree and Phil are 2 that, in my mind right now, just from talking to them, seem to have an edge on, they've got a very good grasp of what I'm trying to accomplish and can answer questions on time frame and things that,
Great.
so
Excellent.
that's out there. I
Excellent.
sent out inquiries to prospective specialized tree companies to give us an annual service contract. Oh, I thought you had a question.
I did have a question. I was just backing up for a second to the getting quotes for the tree survey. So
Yeah.
will you be bringing that up for discussion at the next meeting here? And how do you decide who's going to get that contract? And who decides that?
The decision, I decided, basically. I don't have to take it to the city at all. And both of these, this contract and the specialized tree company, because it is specialized in such as it is, it becomes my decision really on how, but the tree board needs to be involved. So you will get, when I get the proposals and stuff, all of that's gonna be coming all the way back to the tree board.
Okay.
Maybe I read this wrong, but it looked to me like these bids were sealed until the Board of Works meeting.
They are sealed. I have to think how I wrote it. They are definite sealed bids, but I think they're sealed not for Board Works, but tree board meeting. It might be the tree board that they're sealed for too.
I thought it was
So,
Board Works,
could be Board Works, but,
because I wrote their meeting time down.
so.
By sealed, you mean, we wouldn't know what their bid was?
Right.
Right. They're going to be open all at the same time. Now,
Oh,
however, that said, there's no one criteria that says this guy comes in $500 less than this guy, he's got to get the job. Or this company comes in, because it's just so technical. There's so
Right.
many layers in this onion that I want to make sure that we find the best onion in the pile.
Right.
I
Right.
would assume that the Board of Works would lean
Cost
pretty
is,
hard on you and also us to help them with that decision, because
Um,
cost is just one
they
factor.
should.
But the other one was the specialized company to do an annual service contract. That only went out to 3 companies. That went out to Davy Tree, Asplin Tree, and Townsend Tree. And those 3 I selected because they are global $1 million, billion-dollar companies who would have the resources to be able to handle our needs, even in time of emergency.
And they all have,
Crews working in northern Indiana.
that was my question.
Yeah, in fact, Asplin and Davy both have tree crews working in Michigan City. And Townsend Tree has tree crews closed. They're more in Valpo, a little farther over. And then the last thing is our USDA forest, our big grant.
Right.
That's been gone through several times. And I'm working with them. Drew Hart got the final paperwork submitted to him today. And he has all the financial stuff and all that's all squared away on the right forms with the right lines filled in now, so.
Great.
He, in fact, not that long ago, during this meeting, he emailed me back that he'll have my paperwork back to me on Thursday. He's hoping to have that back to me Thursday so that I can get it submitted in for final approval.
Excellent.
I have some questions.
Yeah,
So I guess my first one is on the RFD. I'm looking at Exhibit B, and it says, right at the top, it says, consistent data collection and inventory of existing trees and their condition and locations in the corporate boundaries of Michigan City, Indiana. Does that mean all trees or just city trees? It says existing trees, does that include trees on private property?
no, city trees will.
We should probably
Okay.
specify that. I mean, I don't know.
I believe it should be specified.
Yeah,
Inventory of existing city trees.
yeah, I think from what Drew said too, I mean, like, I know like that was the final, but he said, you know,
Right.
there's gonna be some tweaks. So, but I think something like that is important
Right.
to tweak.
And this was,
And they may have been tweaked already.
yeah, this is in the RFD. And then I
Okay.
have a bunch of questions from the grant.
The USDA,
Yeah, this is the USDA grant.
Okay,
So let's see, right on the front page here, at the end of the 5-year grant cycle, the city of Michigan City, Indiana will update its municipal tree inventory. To me, it sounds like that should read, by the end of the 5-year grant cycle, the city of Michigan City will have updated its municipal tree inventory.
yeah, because
But
otherwise
it
it's
sounds like it's, 5 years down the road, we're gonna do an inventory.
another one, yeah.
Well, we probably do. need to do
You will. Yeah.
Right, but I think that's referencing the tree inventory that has to happen at the beginning. As it sounds like to me.
I
That's what-
would think it does, but that's not what it says. And that's what bothers me. And then right after that, it says to include previously excluded areas. What does that mean?
there are areas, our tree inventories that we've had in the past have not been thorough.
Okay.
We have tree inventories where we've got more information on the inventory about trash cans than we did about trees.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, a few pages in, under project scope alignments. The program will contribute to these goals, and then it says NOFO priorities. What does NOFO mean?
I don't know. Where is it down here?
Right up there.
Up here,
I'll
oh,
be honest, right off the top of my head, I can't think of what a NOFO is.
It's some kind of acronym.
I have ideas, but
Does anybody know what NOFO means?
Do not.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is. I'd have to look through the rest of the paperwork to get a grasp on what that signified.
You know, I looked it up and actually it came up on an email Tim had sent out in September saying we received a grant and it's from NOFO portal applications. So, here. Notice of funding opportunity.
Okay, thank
Yeah, we could have guessed a
you.
long time before we got there.
Yeah, well, some of these things are part of their,
Jargon.
the stuff that's on their paperwork that you don't mess with.
Okay.
It's like,
Sure, okay.
Okay. Under the milestones, accomplishments and all that, there's reference to Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. What are those zones?
those are your work zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3 are the three primary. If you looked at your map, we have a map of the zones where you concentrate in an area at a time.
Okay, so I have questions about the map, so then.
It might relate to that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then, let's see. Oh, we got two maps in the back here. And there's this one, which I'm assuming that all this stuff in the blue is the map of disadvantaged census tracts according to the Climate and Economic Justice Screen Tool.
Okay?
So it excludes Edgewood, Potawatomi Park, and Long Beach. I'm interested that it includes Trail Creek, which is not part of Michigan City.
Right.
Right, the map is it's not part of our project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the map was created to show the disadvantaged areas, but it's not necessarily Michigan City proper.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. And then next comes this map with absolutely no text, and I don't know what it means, what it shows.
It's a Rorschach test for you.
It is.
And that shows how confused I am. So, can you explain this?
Nope.
Or can you get back to the
Well, yeah, the maps were part of the original paperwork, and since they didn't question me on it, I didn't question
Okay.
them on it.
Okay. Does this show the zones?
Let me see.
That looks like the yellow could be the outline of Michigan City, the rest of it looks like just a
No, it's all,
regional map.
it's a lot.
Most of it is Michigan City.
Yeah, most of the green is Michigan.
That's like to
Yeah,
downtown.
this,
It's true, right?
that's the way the map actually said, because Trail Creeks is listed in here. Long Beach is in this map. But, yeah, I don't have, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay. Any
Okay.
other questions?
No, those are the important ones.
Those were
It
good
it meant
ones.
something to USDA.
Okay,
Very good questions. So,
thank you.
Mike, the one other issue I wanted to just follow up with you on your report here, and that has to do with the revisions to the city tree care ordinance.
Oh,
That as I understand it, we tabled that at the last meeting, and you have since determined that the mayor's office is already working on something
Okay.
that's sort of a parallel track.
it is an exact parallel track, and
So we're gonna kind of drop our consideration of
ours
this for the
should
time
go
being.
away until mayor program gets very close, and then we will have input on her program.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I
Great.
really hope that we would be included in
Yeah.
that, so we can offer input into whatever they're doing. Is she talking about an ordinance change?
Mhm.
Is that what they're doing? Okay. Yes, we definitely want to be part of that.
And not in my report, but I brought with me these two things. This is the street tree information book I put together and this is information on what street trees are, issues that you deal with. These are all things for either our board, either for the tree board, mainly for the tree board. But as we look down the road, I covered the city ordinance 3826 is in here, tree species information, tree pricing, sustainability standards for urban forestry, for street trees. So this is like a easy read, if you will. The main part of it's only 18 pages. So it's what everything you want to know about buying a street tree and was afraid to ask.
Is there a way that you can circulate that to all of the board members?
Sure,
Uh,
because,
Via either in paper or via, probably preferably in paper.
yeah, paper would be the preferred.
Well, I don't know if should we have any copies of that?
Yeah, I don't think I need basic
Okay,
Is
information
that
like
in your
that.
office? Is that something that,
Electronically then,
Yeah, it is.
I like
You don't wanna cut down trees.
It's-
I like paper because that's the way
Actually, I think that would be more useful to people who are working on this new tree ordinance, because I'm assuming that they are not arborists or
Right.
That's,
foresters or biologists, and that basic information needs to go to the people writing the law.
and that's exactly what it's for. It is for a way to tell when you can't write an ordinance or you can't buy a tree if you don't understand everything there is to know about that tree. Tree may not grow in clay. Tree may not grow in wet soil.
Salt tolerance and all that.
Yeah, I would like a paper copy of that. I think,
I will get you a copy. And I have in there the ecological relationships, like this whole section
great thing
is
to have. It's
what
a
trees
Maybe
grow
the-
and what.
great resource.
Maybe the tree board should own a copy.
The tree board should own a copy.
Yeah, I mean, not just you personally.
The concept was for either tree board or, well, like you said, that anybody, I mean, got instructions on planting based on, is it a sapling, is it a potted plant, if it's a root ball, all have different planting requirements.
Great, if you can get that out and get that circulated to the board and to me, I
Yeah.
would be really appreciated. All right, anything else from the arborist, forester?
Not from the arborist report.
oh, I have a question, of course.
Well, I think he was.
No, go ahead.
The people who have the annual service contract, whether Davy Tree, Asplin, or Townsend, I assume that you're gonna be giving them pretty good supervision, because sometimes these contractors do.
Well, not just them, they wouldn't be treated any different than any other contractor, but every job that I put out there, I send a quote request. I go out, let's say you call up and there's a tree issue, I'll go evaluate it, do a thorough quote request. I give them a work order. When they get their work order done, they turn it back into me. And then before they can submit a bill, I go back out, walk the job one more time, and make sure they did A, what they said they were gonna do, and B, they did it properly. And that way, we don't have issues of contractors doing faulty work, or just saying, like I had one last year that I reviewed a bill they had turned in, somebody had turned in, was $1,400 to trim a tree.
No.
And I went out, granted, 6 months later, but I went out and inspected the tree that they said that they did and were paid $1,400 for. I don't know what they did, but it wasn't trim that tree. So
Well, you're always gonna have situations like that, and it's great that you're following up.
we have to follow.
You have to follow
Yes.
up, I think that's the point,
Because
and supervise.
sometimes trees are cut down that shouldn't have been cut down.
Yes.
Well, that's all determined before they ever get there.
Good, good. Because that hasn't always been the case, unfortunately.
All
I
right,
appreciate that.
does that conclude the forester's report then?
Yes.
Very good. Old business. Any old business?
Well, I think it might be under old business. I asked about last time if the website didn't, the city's website didn't have current tree board member names and end dates and all that kind of thing. I know you had said that they were working on a revamp of it, so they may still be in
The current one
it.
does have the.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What it doesn't have is my information, honestly.
Maybe that was-
I haven't put that in yet, but
Oh, okay.
the tree board is up to speed on that.
Okay, and the proper end dates?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah, you're,
And then the other was, I know, I was happy to see you had set up an email distribution list, but I don't know if everyone is truly getting it. I know when I tried to use it, and I
I
got,
did get it.
eventually, but I got back something saying, it was not delivered to Laura or Betsy, and I wasn't sure how many people were on it, but that was,
Right.
maybe 3 weeks ago, so,
I've been getting the emails, I just can't download the documents.
documents, okay.
I'm getting it all and I can download them all.
So the email distribution list is updated. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Okay,
You may want to send it out one time and then say, everyone respond when you receive it,
oh, that's
to
good.
test it,
okay.
But I don't know what we do about not being able to download the documents.
Well, I'll just have to read what I can off the screen.
Well, that's a concern.
Okay, any other old business?
Yeah, I have a question. This is from the old minutes, I guess. Yeah, old minutes from March. Let's see. About the Arbor Day Foundation. We now have access to the Tree City Center for supplies. So I went there and said, log in. And, somebody log in?
Yeah, I logged in, I know last year when I was, I think we were in between people and,
Okay.
and I think the supplies might be like the flag and the plaque and
Oh, okay.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's nothing particular?
No, not true.
I would just look at.
Yeah.
So,
And I should get with you to pass that over to you for the Arbor Day login.
Okay, any other old business? I have a piece of old business.
No, I have another question. Let's see. Under the Forester report in March's minutes, it says, completed database for licensed arborists, spreadsheet to track all tree crew applications. And I just didn't understand what tree crew applications is. Is that contractors or is that people applying to work for the city?
That's contractors.
Okay.
I have an old business question.
Yes.
Has the city removed any invasive species in the last month that were growing in the city right of ways?
Actually, we have. We have. On
How many approximately and what?
two that I know of.
What were they?
They were both Atlantia, and they're both
Tree of heaven.
in an alley.
Okay, and were they, I assume they were cut down, were they also treated in such a way so that it doesn't grow back?
Cut down, yes. Treated, no. The alley, if they weren't in an alley, they're gonna be ground out anyway. Because anything that's not in an alley or in the middle of the woods has to be ground,
What do you mean ground?
stump ground.
Well, but my understanding, to kill a tree of heaven, you have to chemically treat
Right.
it as well as cut it down.
And I have to wait until we get our 3 big companies. None of the local guys have license to spray. You need a category 6 spray license, which isn't much to get. I've had one for 10 years,
Okay. Right, yeah, okay.
but nobody has them.
So, I question then, how did you learn about these trees, and how did they come to your attention that they needed to be
Removed.
removed?
I was looking at other trees that we're gonna remove nearby and just told the contractor while you're out there, get that tree, get the invasive out of the way.
I congratulate you on getting that done.
So, yeah, it's just that I saw it and I knew I had a guy working
Thank
within
goodness,
a block
because
of
your job
it.
depended on that.
So,
Well, it's one step forward in the battle against invasive species.
and,
that's a
but I
good
do
thing.
have one other, well, actually 2 other notes.
All right.
This would fall under, instead of communication, this is a lack of communications. Both of these are tree-related that the tree board should have been made aware of long before they did. I got a hold of this one last week, Thursday before Good Friday. And spent a lot of time talking back and forth with the people who were putting it on. But the district, sanitary district, has, they are planting at Carwick, the Carwick Nature Park. They're planting 1,000 trees.
Wow.
Well, don't get excited.
Those little tiny things that mostly don't survive?
Well, and I'll bring it to your attention, we're gonna get another 1,000 trees planted. But they pretty much cut me off after a while because I was asking too many questions. So, but they're planting 1,000 trees that, again, somebody should have brought that to the attention of the tree board long before they have site pictures and, their plan.
Where are they getting the money to do this?
My question exactly.
The trees are being donated, and the labor, they're using school kids to plant the trees.
What kind of trees
Yeah,
are
are these native is my question.
Slave
The
labor.
trees are native,
Oh.
and the trees came from an Indiana site.
Oh, okay.
So, and I've got a list of what trees they're planting. I don't have a list, or have not been able to acquire a list yet, of where they're being planted. Exactly. Because some of these plants are not for water, and you're putting them in Carwick, which is a marsh.
Yeah.
So, not our thing yet. And actually, my last comment to the guy running this program was, do what you're gonna do. Just let you know that as soon as they're in the ground, they're not mine. So, I have issue with what they're doing and how they're doing it.
I'm happy with anybody that's planting trees, but they do have to follow.
I have seen small trees planted there that must have not lasted more than a few weeks, because come summertime, those kids are out of school and nobody's watering.
Yeah.
Well, that's the issue, that's one of the issues I have with it. And then the second, she brought for your attention is that they did the Parks Department hired a contractor to remove and do some tree trimming in the zoo. They were trying to get it done before the zoo opened. So,
The zoo is open, but the animals are freezing right now.
yeah.
Just drove by there. And I also noticed a lot of concrete work going on in Washington Park on the sidewalks and stuff.
But, so we've had 2 jobs recently inside that they didn't tell anybody in the tree world about. So
I think the longer you're here, though, there will start to be more communication,
Yeah.
and you will be
communication,
learning
but
about
I'm
these things.
angering a lot of people, I'll be honest, because I asked them questions about, like, you're planting trees, you're planting that tree there, and you're planting trees within so many inches of one another. Is there a plan to, what are you gonna do about thinning these out? And what do you do about the trees you're thinning out?
Right, right.
And
There needs to be some education here, clearly.
Right,
yeah.
but I did get authors written in their emails that at a later date, I can thin these trees out and take them and use them elsewhere in the city. So
Isn't that nice?
yeah,
You know, tell them that you can save them a lot of money, or save their donors a lot of money if they talk to you first.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think it's a matter of time
It
and
is.
rolling, but, maybe, at some point to have a city, panel on educating, groups that are doing things like that on, what,
Okay,
I'm glad they chose native trees, but care and so on, but yeah, I guess it's gonna take some time, and we'll try and dance nicely while all this kind of
Right,
so
unrolls.
it is 7 o'clock, so we need to wrap
Yep.
this up.
It's 8 o'clock.
Or 8 o'clock. New business, any other new business that we haven't discussed? None, hearing none. Any comments by the board members?
Yeah, I have a comment. Has Shirley Heinzlein Trust got in contact with you? I know they are assisting with the grant that went to South Bend. And I said, well, why not Michigan City? And they said, oh, great idea. So I don't know if they've talked to you or not.
they have not.
Okay,
Assisting in what way?
I'm not sure. Planting?
Planting,
I know.
buying trees?
They
I don't
have
know.
volunteers, they have a nice.
Yeah, they have a robust
Volunteer.
volunteer program.
They have a good number of interns this summer too, so I'm not sure.
Any other comments from board members? Any comments from the members of the public? Hearing none, the next meeting is May 1st, 2024 at 6:30 PM at the same location here in the IBEW building. And otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
And I think are you gonna be at that meeting?
I will not be
Okay,
at
so
that.
I will
You will
run the
be.
meeting, okay,
Thank you.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Good luck.